so thick with beauty, invites me into reverie. Witness apex bask in rest. Succumb once more to gravity. Siren sounds nearby distress. Spill into my reverie. I'm not strong, but I'll try because so much of this world is wrong. There's so much that I love, and yet the road to correction's long. We've come close before, but I can't hold on to hope for long. Pull me in, hold me tight, help me stand for the change to come. There's music in these pictures, the longing sound of weeks and days. What wonders you discover, to tread a tent while day waits. Welcome to the Wandering Bard. I'm Jeremy Grafe. And behind the control desk, we of course have Lori.
Hello, friends. Here I am. On the mic, not in front of the camera. Ha 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 ha.
So I hope everybody is doing well. It's good to see everybody back. It's been an interesting 3 weeks, I'll say. So I got to go out to Northern California with Jordan, and we played a really cool Lamning gig. And I just listened back to a lot of the music from that today, and I'm really happy with a lot of the new arrangements that we came up with while we were in California, and I cannot wait to share them with you. Probably the soonest most of you will get to hear those is when Jordan guests with me at the end of Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, which will be probably the last week in October. I will keep everybody posted about that. But so from California, I was home for a few days and then off to Pennsic Peace Week, and only got to stay for part of that week before going to Gen Con in Indianapolis, and then back to War Week for a night, and then I had to leave the next morning because COVID. Because I have COVID. So I woke up feeling lousy and went to first aid, and they couldn't help me out. So I just grabbed my car and packed up, and I just wanted to bail. And luckily, my whole camp tested negative. So I feel really good about that. But I had to come home. So I missed out on War Week, basically. But I do have a couple fun stories from all of that. If you lovely people have any questions about the California trip or about Penzik or about Gen Con, just post them up in the chat and I will be alerted to those by our faithful house elf. For now. But tonight, partly because I am still not 100%, I'm trying to take things a little bit light. So, got some stuff coming up that I definitely want to be 100% for, not least of which are the first 2 weeks at Maryland Ren Fair with Wine and Alchemy. And I'll be talking a bit more about that, because I think part of that is a Penzik story. So... Welcome, friends, to everyone here. Welcome, friends, time to draw near. Welcome, friends, whatever time has passed. Welcome here, when strangers find companions on this journey's land. We may enter as strangers, let's leave as friends. No need to be lonely, we welcome you here. If we've only just met you, all we've known welcome, friends, by whatever path you've tread. Welcome, friends, here you'll find respite. Welcome, friends, no need to be alone. Welcome here, we hope you feel at home. And companions on this journey's land. We may enter as strangers, let's leave as friends. No need to be lonely, we welcome you here. If we've only just met you, or we've known you for years, and it's time, time to draw near to each other, and it's time, time to lean on each other. Welcome, friends, to everyone here. Welcome, friends, time to draw near. Welcome, friends, whatever time has passed. Welcome here, whether strangers or old friends.
Oak and Raven wants to know, did you remember, and maybe you just didn't have time, to go to Lost and Found?
I didn't.
And tell them you lost your mind.
I didn't.
Ah!
I actually did. I was pretty much a zombie my last day there.
That's true.
So I have no idea what my fever was. I know that I had it. And also the brain fog is a thing. But that also could have been the fact that it was hot and humid and I had a fever. So I don't know. But I'm sorry. I actually lost my mind. I didn't go check for it. Does that count? No. I didn't think it did either. But I did get to see a lot of really fun stuff in the little bit of time that I was there. So that was good. Like, seeing all the Tinkers at Pennsic was pretty great. Elijah wasn't there yet, but it was good to see Sam and Santiago and Rebecca and, of course, Serendipity. So we had, it was delightful seeing them and just so many other friends. So I couldn't have said this last year, but it really did feel like, coming home this year, seeing just so many people that are just so great to be around. Not least of which would be my lovely campmates, the people of Camelot. We never did get those special order camels in, but, we did our best.
Just to fill in that Oak and Raven said they have a jar of marbles and they offer to let you pick one that looks familiar.
That's nice.
That's super clever. That's
that is
really
very
cool.
clever.
There's always next year.
That's true.
I mean, he's got a thing that says Pennsic 50. I was there. All I got was this. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I know. Yeah. This was not the Pennsic that I was hoping for in a lot of ways. I was hoping I'd get a chance to play with a lot more people and I'd get to see a lot of friends, and that wasn't to be, for various and sundry. Between working at Gen Con and having to leave early and then getting sick and having to leave early, it didn't leave as much time to hang out. But I did get to hang out at Vlad's a couple of nights, which was pretty great. I have no excuse because it's only a few camps down from mine. For those of you who don't know, Vlad's is a giant drum circle that during Peace Week is amazing. It's it's like an analog rave is the best I can say. And, just very cool percussion and things kind of ebb and flow and change. And, just as I was ready to leave the one night, Santiago and Sam and Eric Gavin and, Dr. Sick and a bunch of other folks showed up, and then I was kind of committed to stay because if you haven't heard Sam and Santiago play like they mean it, they play wonderful music during the Tinker show, but when they're kind of on their own and doing a thing, it's pretty fantastic. So
Judith wants to know, did you get many dancers? I'm guessing either at Pennsic, but you were leading a dance class at the music for Gen Con. How many people were in those classes too?
Okay, so at Pennsic, I was not party to creating dancing for other people as much. So my camp has actually a belly dancer troupe that lives there. So there was a little of that happened kind of we had sort of a living room tent where we would bring people in and we would occasionally keep the gate open so people would come and hang out. And Michelle often danced when I would play, but it wasn't in previous years where I was playing with Volgamut and we actually had a party going. Having said that, Gen Con, I was playing with the Tulston Troubadours and our job was to provide live music for dance classes as the Revel Alliance. And that was a blast. I think nearly all of our classes were sold out. So every class was about 60 people, except for the last one on Sunday, which was a little more lightly attended, which was also an intermediate Celtic dance. So we didn't expect that one was going to fill up. And it was significantly harder. So the people that were there were people that had been in the classes before or had been attending Irish or Scottish Highland dancing on their own. So, but it was really cool. We got to see some really great dancing and got to play some really fun songs. So, yeah, that was pretty great. Gen Con was amazing. And I'm glad that I had a little bit of a warm-up with Pennsic. So Pennsic had pretty decent numbers this year. The highest, I think, was close to 12,000 people, which that I saw, that's pretty impressive. Gen Con, on the other hand, had 70,000 people. So like the main exhibitor floor, I'm pretty sure I can safely estimate had more people on it than all of Pennsic. So that was a little overwhelming to try and move through with a cart of instruments and a PA and some other stuff. I mean, we were playing a lot of parties. So Friday and Saturday, we had like 5 basically straight hours of playing with like one tiny break for us. And that was all right. The downside was I didn't get to see friends who I knew were there and actively looked for them. So for example, I was at Paul Garbanzo's booth 6 times throughout the weekend. I didn't see Paul. I didn't see Ansa, which was a little weird. But I tried. But yeah, it was a really cool experience, and hopefully we'll be doing that again next year. So I'm excited about that.
Can I play more music?
I mean, I can. I didn't know if you had more questions for me.
No.
Okay.
the people out there.
Hello to all the people out there.
There's people watching on Facebook. Hello.
Facebook people.
Yeah, we can see your text, but we can't say hello back because we are hosting this party live from Twitch and or YouTube. I'd also be able to see your text there.
Oh.
Yeah. So, sorry. Hello to people out there in Facebook land.
Hello, everyone. If you would like the full VIP, do stop by Twitch. It's www.twitch.tv/Jeremy Grafe Music. You don't even need an account. You can just come and hang out. But if you want to be in the chat, you probably should have an account. But, it doesn't cost anything. Come hang. And go ahead and, share the live stream wherever you are. Because it's always cool to let people know what's good about a Monday night. I am certainly glad to be able to hang out with y'all live again. I have missed you while I've been on the road. Unfortunately, I didn't know that I would have the best of Wi-Fi in all places, so I didn't take stuff with me. Actually, at Penzic, that was probably a good move. I barely had reception on my phone most of the time. But, Gen Con, maybe not surprisingly, because video games are now part of it, the Wi-Fi was actually kind of decent on the floor. So maybe next year. We'll see. So I promised some stories. So here's a fun story from my last night at Peace Week before leaving for Gen Con. I had gone up top, which is what those of us who camp in the bog call the rest of Penzic, and to do a couple of errands and see a few friends. And by the time I got back, our kind of community tent was playing host to Michael. And those of you who know him maybe better as Misha von Volgamut. So Michael was jamming with my campmates, and I ran and grabbed my guitar, and I played in with them for a few songs. And then things kind of started to wind down, and Michael asked what I was doing for the evening. So Michael and I, kind of reliving our Peace Week from last year, went to find a really cool kind of private camp called Gabriel's Landing. And after some pleasantries, we met Gabriel himself, who invited us in and gave us some beer that he himself brewed. I was treated to a delightful stout known by the name of Motor Oil. So you can imagine what that looked like. And Michael and I sat down and we played probably for about 40 minutes. And it was really cool. I actually got to play a few Volgamut standards that I don't know that I've played much or at all since the last time I saw Michael in person, which was the end of Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair last season. Our calendars have not been syncing up this year at all. So it was nice to actually get to play with him. And the audience was really there for it. It was really beautiful. We played a bunch of stuff that you would probably expect we would have played together, like Maiden Bedlam and Health of the Company. And it was a really nice night. We played We Be Soldiers 3 and the whole place was singing with us, which is always cool. But we had a really fun time, and it was nice to meet Gabriel and some of the other folks who were there, kind of like enjoying a low-key night. And it felt good to show up and provide some nice entertainment and catch up with Michael a little bit too. So that was definitely a high point of my Peace Week. And then pretty much the last thing that I did at Penzic before I got sick was I got to see Volgamut perform at Ethelmark's big party Monday night. And at the time I just felt really kind of tired, but that kind of makes sense because I had just driven in from Indianapolis, which, isn't a huge drive, but after Gen Con, I was feeling a little like, yeah, I'm a little tired, and that's okay, and was planning on just going home or going back to camp and going to bed early for me. I woke up the next morning and ended up going home. But here we are. So
here we are. I got a whole week of hanging out.
A whole week of hanging out.
Yeah.
Quarantine hanging out. It's kind of strange, but yeah. Happy homecoming. Stay in that room over there.
Yeah. We've been sleeping in separate rooms and all. So far I am COVID negative, friends. So that is good news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot better than I did.
Yes, that is
which
true.
is a fairly low
You
bar.
look a lot better than you did too. But
I would hope so.
yeah.
That was
good.
not pleasant.
No.
I don't recommend the COVID experience.
Oh, so yeah. It's kind of wild, you know.
Yeah.
But here we are, and we're getting better. You're getting better, so that's
I'm
awesome.
getting better.
Yay.
Well, hey, so here's a fun song that was inspired in part by a book that one of its main lines of plot is that there's a plague going on. She is a window. She is a gateway. A saint and a martyr. Conduit and then reborn. Knowing all unknowing, savvy all unsavvy, terrifying mystery that no one ever denied. So brave yet so fragile, resolute in mortal danger. Beyond this hopeless moment, amid futility, her purpose shines. Waiting for direction, for fears to be released. She doesn't need protection. Answers violence with peace. She is a window. She is a gateway. Saint and a martyr. Conduit and then reborn. A conduit and then reborn. A conduit and then reborn. Yeah. So Gen Con. So I had to work a lot, and the situation was that we had a lot of songs to learn and not a lot of time. So we spent a lot more time rehearsing and preparing for the next day than I think any of us were hoping for, because for various reasons we didn't get to rehearse in advance like we wanted to. But if there's anybody that I have to go through a situation like that, it's Mark and Damaris. So we all pretty much found our marks pretty quickly and figured out how we were going to arrange things for our parts, and it went really well. The downside of that is I didn't get to do quite as much gaming as I would have hoped. But I did get to do some gaming that I really wanted to do. So as many of you know, I am a fan of Critical Role, which, if you don't know, is a bunch of voice actors who get together and they've been airing their D&D campaign for like 8 years now on Twitch. And they're into campaign 3 now. And their game master is a guy named Matt Mercer, who, like, if I would ever get a chance to play at a table, would probably be, well, no, that is a bucket list thing for me. I would love to be able to play one of his games with him running it. But his company is called Darrington Press. They've just started releasing games in the last year. They've got 2 tabletop RPGs coming out pretty soon. One's called Candela Obscura, which, for those of you who are into gaming or maybe not, it's kind of like an alternative Victorian era where scary stuff that goes bump in the night is real, and there are cadres of people who investigate it and try and prevent it from taking more of a hold in our world. So I got to play test Candela Obscura, and it was a blast. The rule system is really simple, and everything in the game is very much directed towards group storytelling, which was really fun. There were some really cool moments. Our party eventually prevailed, but it was a close thing, which is as it should be. Anyway, it was a blast. Another game that I got to sit in on but not play is Matt Mercer's new fantasy game, which is called Daggerheart. And that, like Candela, has fairly simplified rules and very much rewards parties for cooperating and being inventive and telling a great story. So I'm really excited when that comes out sometime next year. So those were probably 2 of my biggest highlights. And I'm really excited to see what Darrington Press comes out with in the next couple of years, because the stuff that they've released so far has been a ton of fun to play. So I will say that probably in the next couple of months, there's going to be a new show on this channel where I will be getting together with some of my improv actor friends, and we will be playing a really fun Darrington Press game called Till the Last Gasp, which is a 2-player game simulating a duel. And there's a lot of different ways that can look, but I'm really excited to bring that to you. I will maybe only be appearing in some of those shows as the host, so some of my friends get a chance to play against each other or tell a story with each other is probably a better way to put it. But I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So stay tuned. I will be posting up when we're going to begin airing that. Probably sometime near the end of October is when the episodes will start coming out. We need to get a few in the can before that happens. But anyway, all this to say, it was a really fun Gen Con, and I'm really glad that I went. And next year I'll have a better, I guess, idea about how it runs, and won't maybe feel quite so overwhelmed that I completely forget to go to a couple of booths that I wanted to visit. But anyway, it was great getting a chance to play some new Darrington Press games or observe them before they came out. So for those of you who are tabletop gamers, I highly recommend picking up a copy of Candela Obscura when it comes out later this year, and Daggerheart when it comes out next year. So this is the time where we hydrate. in the recesses of deepest watches of overwhelmed, surrounded by traces of can't remove the tendrils of dreadful certainty of clouded judgment of and the stakes are hard, much too close to call. Every choice is wrong, none go left unharmed. Shadows grow in us, can't afford to trust. Reality remains horizon awake, no matter how good or great the way ahead for us unstates. Back on the brake, just what is this game? Why are we this way? What if all the rules change? Make these cycles break, make our pace and nature's change, by giving more than what we take, to fairer futures we could make. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So hello friends, if you're just joining us,
Welcome to the Wandering Bard.
welcome. That's Jeremy Grave. I'm the voice behind the camera tonight. It's Lori. Hello. Hiding my face. Ha ha ha. Because I've been in front of the camera, if you tuned in, for the past several weeks, running clip and chat sessions while Jeremy was traveling. And now he is home. So here we are, doing the thing.
Yeah, doing the thing. I missed most of the deluges, Judith. I'm not sad about it. Although
Deluges where? Like, what do you, where?
At Penzic.
Oh, it rained a lot there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
During War Week, it poured a bunch after I left. But it rained a bit during Peace Week. Pardon me. It rained during Peace Week, too. Pretty solidly. Which is fun.
All I could think.
Go on.
All I could think of was singing that song. And Mr. Rain's down in Africa. Sorry, that's where my
She's gone
brain.
to Toto.
That's where my brain goes to. That's my brain half the time, friends. That's where I'm at. That's where I live.
Ah, yes. Good times.
So you want to talk about Maryland really quick?
Oh, yeah. So coming up, the next thing that's happening is Maryland. So Maryland,
For you.
for me,
The next thing that's happening.
yeah, the next thing that's happening for me is I get to play the first 2 weekends of the Maryland Renaissance Festival with Wine and Alchemy. I am so excited about it. So theoretically, Penzic was supposed to be our big rehearsal. So we got to rehearse once with Vid and Roxanne and I, and actually we had a blast. So Roxanne had us start with some of the Roma tunes that we're going to be playing together, which was a good move because they're the hardest ones, like the most difficult arrangements, the weirdest kind of like keys or whatever. So that was great. I mean, we rehearsed for a good 2.5 hours, and at the end of it, I felt a lot more firmly grounded and ready to go. So, you know, similar to Gen Con, like if there's anybody that I'm showing up like not as well rehearsed as I would want to, Roxanne and Vid, I think we're going to have a really great time. So I'm pretty sure we're playing in one of the pubs. And so that'll be the last weekend in August. And so that'll be Saturday and Sunday. And then the following weekend is Labor Day weekend. So we'll do Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I am really excited because I have not been to the Maryland Ren Festival in a very long time. So it's going to be really cool to come back, and not only come back, but to be able to come back as a performer. And maybe I'll actually even get to see some friends while they're performing, because Volgamut will also be at Maryland. So hopefully I'll be able to sneak away and get to hear them. So anyway, that's Maryland. So I hope you should be able to see a link in the chat, at least if you're on Twitch or on YouTube. And if not, I'm sorry. Hopefully we'll be able... I will be posting a link to Maryland on my Facebook page, hopefully by the end of the week. I'm still kind of getting myself unpacked and settled after Penzic and Gen Con and California. So I'm a little behind on my like in-house work, but I'm hopefully going to start getting back on promoting all the stuff that's coming. And then of course, the week after Labor Day, I get to start at Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, and that's September the 16th, and I'm there through the end of the run. And as soon as I see a schedule for the weekend that I'm starting, I will be posting that, so y'all can come and find me. But I'm really excited about that. It's going to be incredibly cool to get a chance to play with Luke and Grace and Claire and Mary Kate and, hopefully Alex and Vid, although I know they won't be there in like the same capacity. And I know Mark will be around too, so maybe I'll be able to pull them like into a performance on one of their breaks from their like current jobs. Anyway, hopefully we'll at least surpass last year and have a lot of fun surprises for all of you. And if not, it's great to hang out with you anyway. So, even if it's just us. So, I am a big fan of people standing up for themselves. And a story that happened surprisingly a long time ago in the news cycle, when Russia invaded Ukraine, there was a spirited, shall we say, senior citizen who accosted a young Russian soldier and questioned as to why he was in her country, and attempted to press a package of sunflower seeds, which is the national flower of Ukraine, into his hands that he might put it in his pocket and would at least show he can leave something of beauty, which is a nice way of saying, go die and fertilize these flowers. Take these seeds with you as you go. May they line your pocket with memory to remind us when you've gone. You can leave something of beauty. Leave us bright echoes of your passing, with stalks unbent and petals shining, of the strength that met you here. The sunflowers unfold in the dawning. Set the fields ablaze in golden hue. Let them follow sun till gloaming. High above, yellow flowers below. From east to west grow resolutely. Cheer our days to last throughout the night, though our heads bow till the morning. By day they'll shine, unfurl and seek the sun. We'll recall the price of planting. Take these seeds with you as you go. May they line your pocket with memory to remind us when you've gone. You can leave something of beauty. Well, friends, this is the time of the program where I inform you that I have both bad news and good news. Bad news first, because I would rather end on an up note. I only have one more song. It's true. Of course, I have good news, and that is I have one more song.
Hey! Oh my gosh, I was really worried. Oh my god.
I know, you were in suspense
I
over
was in
there.
such suspense over here.
Such suspense. Anyway, I know this has not been an easy set of years for a lot of us. And I wrote this song, well, really for all of us, so that we can remember the lesson of the phoenix. So should you find yourself sitting in a pile of ashes, know that my hope for you is that, like the phoenix, you will spark up yet again and be even stronger than what the situation has made you. Ashes arise to a new stage of life. I make grief for what's lost, burn to ash and then rise, burning up in a day. Yield to fire's embrace. This isn't the end, only a change. From the ashes I'll rise to a new stage of life. I make grief for what's lost, burn to ash and then rise, burning up in a day. Yield to fire's embrace. This isn't the Friends, thanks so much for welcoming me home. It's so great to be back with all of you, and I look forward to seeing you all next Monday right here on Twitch at 8 p.m. Eastern. Love you all. Good night.